Hello everybody, this is Jenny McGarvey and I am happy to share with you today the layout that I have created using the Scraptastic Kit Club Summertime Rolls Kit. I have titled this page Summer Fun and I will get started here just in a minute creating this fantastic layout with a lot of different pieces. First, we're going to use the let me back up. I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to trim the edges off. That is what happens when I use my Canon selfie printer. It has just those little edges that you need to tear off. I love using the printer. I use it almost exclusively. The only photos I don't print with it are the ones that are larger. Now, as you can see, I have pulled out that sheet of Simple Stories paper, and if you look at it, it's just incredibly beautiful. It really does look like the sun flare. However, I am going to cover it up with a little piece of cardstock, and it's actually not cardstock, it's patterned paper, but the back side is a solid color, so that's why I was calling it cardstock. Anyway, as you can see, I'm going to cover most of that paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and mat my photo just a light mat around the edges, maybe like 1/4 of an inch or something like that, larger, and go ahead and place it on the background. Now I'm going to pull out the ephemera from crepe paper and just start piecing together some of those different little bits and pieces, the shapes, the tags, those sorts of things, and lay them out around the photo and where else I think on the page that I might like them to go. Now, as you can see, I'm using a variety of different pieces, little word strips, arrows, the sun, tags, things like that. And I really am pretty happy with the layout of how I have it. And I'm going to go ahead and trim one of the cut aparts as well and use that also on this particular page. Now there is a white shipping tag, and I'm going to go ahead and just place that right behind my photo with only the little edge sticking out. And I also want to do a little bit of layering right there down in that lower right hand corner. So I'm just going to take a couple of little sheets of patterned paper and adhere them together and then adhere them underneath that photo for a little bit of added interest right there in that corner. But I didn't want a lot because there's a lot going on with all of those different die cuts. Now I'm pretty happy with the overall design, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere my photo down now and then start sticking down all of the different elements that I had already laid out. Some of them I'm going to use my glue gun, and then others I'm going to use the ThermoWeb foam adhesive. Those are my favorites. I love the dimension that those provide, so that's why I use those almost exclusively, though I do use the American Crafts ones as well when I want a little bit less dimension. Now I'm just using 2 of those with the foam squares so that I can have a little bit of pop, but not that the whole page is up in your face or anything like that. Now, as you can see, I have pulled out a piece of the exclusive patterned paper from Scraptastic, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim that up. What I want to get is one large wave that spreads across most of the 12 by 12 portion of that paper and then to lay down at the bottom. So I don't want it to be too tall, but I do want it to be pretty wide. So I needed to examine that paper and see which of the waves would fit for what I wanted it to do. So now that I chose one, I went ahead and I just trimmed it out with my scissors, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the glue gun and go ahead and adhere that to the paper. Now it would be a really neat to use the sewing machine also to add a little bit of stitching to go with the waves. It would sort of reinforce the movement that the waves have. However, I did not do this on that one particular because I'm not really very good at using my sewing machine if it's not in a straight line. Just being perfectly honest there. So now I need to move one of my tags that I'd already adhered down so that I can add that big wave, but it's not a problem. The little tag comes up quite easily, so I'll just go ahead and put it all back down after I've peeled it up a little bit, and then I'm going to also add those glittery little arrows that came from the crepe paper ephemera as well. Sometimes when the foam squares are a little bit bigger than the item I wish to stick down, I just trim them with my scissors. It's very easy to do. They cut so easily, and then you can make your own custom sized foam squares, and I don't need to have multiple sizes on hand, just the one size. Now I'm also going to go through the Simple Stories bits and pieces and find a couple that go with the theme of the page and just what I want them to say. I only need one or two. I don't need a whole lot of them. I have lots of other embellishments already on this page. So having the arrow that says beach is really just enough. And what I like about a brand new package is that I can just turn it over on the back, see what's in there, and then find it. After I've used a couple, then it's a little bit harder. Now I'm going to finish embellishing this page. I'm just going to use a couple of the exclusive vellum pieces from here and then also use the Pebbles enamel dots as well. Now I love the exclusive vellum pieces. They're fantastic and a great addition to my page, yet with the vellum they're not really all that heavy and they don't really take a whole lot of visual space. Now I hope you enjoyed how I put together my page using the Scraptastic Club Summertime Rolls kit, and I hope you'll stop by soon. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave me a thumbs up. Thank you!